To our council meeting this Tuesday, December the 1st. We'll call our meeting to order. Please bow your heads for a moment of reflection, and during your reflection, please remember Don Brunk's family. Don passed away this past week on the 25th, and he served 20 years on Perth East Council. Thank you. Confirmation of the agenda. Does anyone have anything they wish to add to the agenda? Seeing nothing, we need a motion to accept the agenda as circulated. Moved by Andrew, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. If you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose that now or as the meeting moves along. We'll now move on to our consent agenda. We have 15 items on our consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone would like to pull or have questions on any of those items? Hugh?
5.1.7 Township of Howick, resolution of support of child drainage loan program. I would hope that we would be able to support that.
Okay, so we'll pull that one. Is there any other item anyone wants pulled? See none, so we'll move a motion to accept 5.1.1 to 5.1.6 and then 5.1.8 to 5.1.15. So moved by Amanda, second by Daryl. All in favor? Carried. Okay, so Hugh would like 5.1.7 pulled. Would you want to speak any more to it, Hugh?
It's just, I think that they're just trying to get the act more in line with the realities today, and I would support that.
Okay, so moved by Hugh. Do we have a seconder? Daryl? Is there any more questions or comments on that? All in favor to support? Carried. Okay, we have no delegations. We have no public meetings. We have no planning reports. We have no report from the CAO. So we'll move right to the clerk. And the first one is repair and improvement on the Signer drain. So I'll turn it over to Ashley.
Okay, this report is to appoint an engineer for the Signer drain in the Mornington ward. We're recommending GM Blue Plan. This is the site that we've seen a few times the last council meetings with Millbank hardware, and GM Blue Plan is a project manager on there. So the applicant's requesting that they are the engineer. And there's nothing else if there's any questions.
Okay, are there any questions? Seeing no questions, we do have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East appoint GM Blue Plan Engineering Limited to prepare an engineer's report under Section 78 of the Drainage Act for the Signer Municipal Drain, Part Lot 16, Concession 7, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East in the County of Perth. Moved by Jerry, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. The next item is repair and improvement of the Maryborough drain.
Okay, I have nothing further to add to this report. If there's any questions, though, I can answer those.
Is there any questions on this drain? Seeing no questions, the Council of the Township of Perth East received the request for repair and improvement, Section 78 of the Drainage Act, by property owned by Willem Baker for the Maryborough No. 4 Municipal Drain, Part Lot 1, Concession 13, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East for information. Then, in accordance with Section 78 of the Drainage Act, the appointment of an engineer will be considered at the January 12, 2021 regular council meeting subsequent to the notice advising of the proposed drainage works being sent to the Secretary Treasurer of the Conservation Authority that has jurisdiction over the lands in this affected area. Moved by Andrew, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the third item is the CPR land lease agreement.
Okay, this is for a property located alongside CPR Drive in Milverton. And it is just another 5-year renewal agreement for land lease there. If there's any questions regarding that one, I can answer them.
Okay, any questions? No questions. Okay, Council of the Township of Perth East received the CPR land lease extension and amending agreement report prepared by the municipal clerk dated December 1, 2020 for information, and that council approve and give 3 readings to bylaw 78, 2020, being a bylaw to enter into a lease extension and amending agreement with Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Ontario as represented by the Ministry of Government and Consumer Services for land described as part of lot 423 RP 363 Township of Perth East, County of Perth. Moved by Jerry, second by Daryl. All in favor? Carried. The next item is the appointment of the Committee of Adjustment.
Okay, this is our annual appointment for all of council to sit as the Committee of Adjustment. If there's any questions on this one, I can answer it.
Okay, any questions on the Committee of Adjustment? Nope. The Council of the Township of Perth East received a report prepared by the municipal clerk dated December 1, 2020 regarding the appointment of a Committee of Adjustment for 2020 for information, and that council will give 3 readings to bylaw 79, 2020 being a bylaw to appoint the members of the Committee of Adjustment. I believe that should be for 2021.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2021 it is actually for. Okay, we have a mover. Moved by Hugh, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and now we're going to go to our council committee for our boards for 2020 to 2022.
Okay, so as outlined in the report on page 149, we have listed who's currently on those committees. So we are looking to appoint for the remainder of this council term for the 2 years, the 3 other members for the Fire Joint Advisory Committee. And then the Library Board Committee, as noted in the report, typically remains the same because we have to amend the bylaw. Though we do have a recent vacancy, which will be coming into effect January. Yes, sorry, Hugh. Can you hear me?
No, I think Rhonda's speaker's on. There's some echoing.
Oh, Rhonda's.
Sorry.
Is that better now? Yeah, okay, sorry about that. So we do have a recent vacancy coming up in January for the library board, so we will be needing to amend that bylaw anyway. So that's just for information on the library board. But at this point, we are just looking on who would like to sit for the, we'll start with the fire committee.
Ashley, was that a planned vacancy on the library board, or this person just decided they didn't want to be part of it anymore?
So we're just going to make sure the speakers were good. The person will no longer be residing in Perth East come the start of the new year, and so they can no longer meet the requirements for sitting on the board.
And can that position be filled by a council member, or does it have to be a community member?
Sorry, Jeremy. Can you ask again, Jeremy? I didn't have my speaker on yet.
Yeah, is that vacancy allowed to be filled by a council member, or does it have to be a community member?
That one will be filled by a community member. So the posting went out for that yesterday, and it's open for a couple of weeks. So this report tonight is for the 2 Perth East representatives to be on the board. So there'll be 3 potentially, I guess, if they change, or just 1 new member if the 2 current members remain on the committee.
Okay, so other committees are like, so the ad hoc is all of council, budget is all of council, facility all of council, quarter revision is Broadhaven, Hurlick, McAlpine, and Matheson, and Smith and McDermott as alternates. Millbank is Councilor Matheson, Milverton is Jerry, Councilor Smith, and so the fire, you want, the same people want to sit on that, or different people want to sit on the fire committee, Jeremy?
We really haven't had very much activity on the fire because of the situation that we're in here. I mean, I think it best just to leave it as is personally, because we're kind of just getting into it. And the last year, there's only been 1 or maybe 2 meetings in the last calendar year. So I feel like for best results, it's probably best to keep it as is. And I'd be happy to continue to sit on there unless somebody else wants to take a stab at it.
Okay, Daryl?
Oh, great. Thank you. I have to agree with Jeremy. I'm prepared to sit on the board. I actually enjoy it. It's interesting. So I'm okay with that. And I'll echo Councilor Matheson's comments. Thank you.
Okay, so Jeremy wants to sit on it, and Daryl, Andrew, do you still wish to sit? Okay, is there anyone else who would like to sit on it? If there is, then we'll have to have some kind of election. Or someone withdraws. Okay, so we'll have Jeremy, Daryl, and Andrew. And then the library board has been Jerry and Hugh. You both, Jerry, go ahead.
Yeah, I wish to remain.
Okay, and Hugh? Okay,
Yes, I found it quite interesting. I'll serve on it again.
okay. Is there anyone else? Nope, okay. So we have a motion that says, the Council of the Township of Perth East received the committee/board's report prepared by the municipal clerk dated December 1, 2020 for information, and that the following council members be appointed to committee/boards of the Township of Perth East. The ad hoc personnel is all of council. The budget advisory is all of council. The facility advisory is all of council. The court of revision are councilors Broadhaven, Hurlick, McAlpine, and Matheson, and the alternates are Councilor Smith and Deputy Mayor McDermott. The Millbank Association is Councilor Matheson. The Milverton Business Association and the Milverton Beautification Committee is Councilor Smith. The Perth East Fire Department Joint Advisory is Mayor Eggets, Councilor McAlpine, Hurlick, and Matheson, and the library is Councilor Smith and Deputy Mayor McDermott. Moved by Amanda, second by Jeremy. Is there any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, now we'll move to finance, and we have our interim tax levy bylaw. And we'll turn it over to Rhonda.
Good evening, everyone. This report covers the draft bylaw and outlines the purpose and the criteria for the tax levy, for the interim tax levy for 2021. And that levy is required to provide the necessary cash flow to meet the school board payments and our own expenditures. If there's any questions, I can answer them.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Rhonda? No questions. The Council of the Township of Perth East received the report prepared by the treasurer dated December 1, 2020, entitled 2021 Interim Tax Levy Bylaw for Information. Moved by Andrew, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and then we will move to the annual borrowing bylaw. Rhonda?
This is our annual borrowing bylaw, and it's for temporary borrowing until we, to meet our current expenditures until we levy the taxes. And we don't normally use it. In fact, we've never used it since I've been here, but it's a placeholder in case we do need it. And the bank requires it as well.
Anyone have any questions for Rhonda on this? No questions. The Council of Township of Perth East received the report prepared by the treasurer dated December 1, 2020, entitled Annual Borrowing Bylaw for Information. Moved by Jerry, second by Amanda. Any more comments, questions? All in favor? Carried. Anything else, Rhonda?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have nothing from Public Works, so we will move to Building and Bylaw. And John, we have the sign bylaw.
Good evening. This report is just to address the changes council had commented on at the last meeting. So the auction sign's been moved to not requiring a sign permit anymore. And that's essentially it. So if there's any questions about that, feel free to ask.
Okay, does anyone, Daryl?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, John. Now, we had talked about a media release there and putting a bit of a procedure together on how we want these signs placed for auctions. Remember that conversation?
Yep.
Did we do a media release on that?
Not yet, no.
Hey, yeah, no, that's fine. I just thought put that little token out there again and just it'd be something we should look into maybe.
No problem. I'll look into it.
Yeah, work with Wes a bit. He'll have some ideas and hey, I'm sure I won't put words in anyone's mouth, but I remember us talking about it. Great.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, I think once the bylaws all passed, then they can have the media release. So they will look into it then. Good, thanks, Daryl, for the reminder. Anyone else have any questions? No? Okay, that the Council of the Township of Perth East received the sign bylaw report prepared by the Chief Building Official dated December 1, 2020 for information, and that subject to council approval, a bylaw governing in the Township of Perth East will be considered at the December 15, 2020 meeting, replacing sign bylaw 58-2002, and that the sign bylaw fees be incorporated into the fees and charges bylaw effective January 2021. Moved by Amanda, second by Carol. Is there any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Do you have anything else, John?
That's it.
That's it. Great. Thank you. Nothing from Recreation, nothing from Fire. Then we move to correspondence. And we do have one item of correspondence from Mr. Conroy Sheilas in regards to his hotel in at the edge of Stratford. What would council like to do with this report? Andrew?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to sit with Mr. Shalhas before realizing there was a letter through a phone call and invitation to come and talk to them. It's a pretty different situation as far as residential and business. I found it very detailed. At the very least, I would like a staff report kind of outlining, obviously staff's can reply to a letter at some point, which is standard, but just, I think it would be benefit to council and maybe people listening to understand this process a little bit more. It brought more questions than I had answers. So brief staff report on how this works and how it's calculated for, this type of industry would probably be beneficial. If that
So
council,
refer it back to staff and have them bring a report back?
please.
Okay, so you want to move that, Andrew? Okay, so moved by Andrew, second by Hugh. Okay. Carol?
Yeah, no, if I just add a little more to that, it's kind of unique. I had an opportunity. This is something that's come up a couple of times to me too, is how these business taxes sometimes will do some massive jumping, but then you look at your tax increase for the year, it isn't so huge. So the people find themselves wondering, okay, why is my taxes only going up like housing and stuff? You do your 1%, but then in the industry, they're wondering where the money kind of goes. And I know we have asset management and such. It's just a lot that I just didn't follow. I don't know if it's something that might be too complex to explain. I guess when it's budget time, we get people involved. But yeah, I see these big increases, and then they're just, it's a lot. I think they have a hard time digesting how much we keep in inventory, and it's a lot. I just thought I'd add that in there. I'm not sure how to handle it. It's just something on budget. I guess it would have to be a little more in tune, and we can show on that. But thanks.
Okay, Jerry?
So in the page P 194, second last paragraph, it says enclosed, you'll find the impact trail. I take it that's still with staff, because that wasn't included. Is it?
Yes, that is. And if you wish to see it, you can come into the office and have a look. There are some correspondence between him and
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
okay, so we have a motion to refer to staff. All in favor? Carried. Okay, so now we're going to council and committee reports. We have my mayor's log, where I've been for the last month and what I've done. Is there any questions on any of that? And then reports. Does anyone have any council reports that they wish to give? The library or the business associations or? No? Oh, Jerry?
Yeah, just a quick note on the library then. It's Mackenzie Kipfer who's leaving. She's our current chairperson. She's been the chair, I believe, the last, maybe this term, obviously, perhaps the one before. So she has done a great job for the library. So it's sad to see her go, but yeah, she's moving into Stratford. So hopefully we find somebody. It's nice to go beyond the Milverton, Mornington ward if we can reach out further to get someone from, our outlying townships. But again, just a thanks to Mackenzie for all the time she's been on.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Jeremy?
The Milverton Business Association, the Christmas on Main, is over, and the Monopoly boards were to be handed back in yesterday, and the draw took place last night. And I want to thank the township staff because they're out in full force all the time. I think we had 5 winners in our draw that work for the township. We had, I can't remember the total amount of gift baskets we gave out. I think there must have been 30 or something, but 5 of the winners were from the township. So thanks for continuing to support our Christmas on Main.
Great. Thanks, Jeremy. Okay, anyone else have a report they would like to give? If not, I'll just bring you up to date in a couple of things at County Council. So, and Land Division, the severance now has went through for Roy Natawari. He's in the Ellis Ward, and we had one down. It's a numbered company, 883999 Ontario Limited. It's 3875 Road 111. It's been approved as well. I think it was a severance of a house. Also, then at County Council on November the 5th, we had the draft plan approval went through for the Geese subdivision. We had pre-budget approval for a new tandem truck plow. We put a 4-way stop at roads 113 and Perth line 26 in Perth South. And this has been a 4-way stop for a little while because it was a bypass for construction in that area. And when the construction was over, they felt that the 4-way stop should stay. So County Council left it there. And we had the official launch for the PC Connect, the bus that goes around. We had it started on the 16th of October, and we held the ribbon cutting on the 24th of October in Stratford, and it had a good turnout with at the ribbon cutting. And also they're very happy with the ridership. Apparently there's quite a few people that are riding the bus around in Perth County. Then on the 15th of November, the next County Council meeting, we're going to put temporary stop signs or stop lights, I'm sorry. And this is in conjunction with Wellington County. It's Road 140 and Perth Line 91. There's been quite a few accidents there. They're looking into a roundabout in a few years, but in the meantime, they were going to put stop lights and see if that would help. We also took over part of Whalen Line in Perth South. This is a county road shared with Middlesex that Perth South's been plowing and looking after all these years, and it's so much traffic on it. Now it's going to be made into a county road, and part of the, there's going to be another road that we're going to do a swap that Perth South is going to take a county road that's a lot less traveled. And then they're going to, I think they're going to do a study and look into in the future if there's other roads in the whole county that can be done as well. So does anyone have any questions? Daryl?
No, great there. Thanks, Rhonda. I was going to chime in there, but you did in the end there on the roads in the study. I'll just fill in a little bit extra there. And of course, Wes is familiar with this, how it works. But these county roads, ideally, we like to keep the traffic moving. That's why they're a county road. They're higher traffic. So it's almost provincial mandate that if there's over so much traffic that you keep four-way stops, all that kind of stuff off them. But the issues we're having is when the accidents are, and a few in particular, they're so nasty and gruesome, if you would, that we're just looking at other options. As much as they do move so much traffic, when the accidents happen, they're nasty. And it seems to be wherever there's a hamlet or a town or a bunch of shrubbery or a bend in the road where it's not open. And essentially what happens is yeah, the innocent person pays lots of times, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to slow traffic down if we go with this further, but there's a bunch of them are really bad, and that's what's going on. And yeah, it sounds like Rhonda touched on it there. They're going to be doing some studies. I'm not sure how to tackle it, but it's an issue that's been plaguing us for a while. But no, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Daryl. Does anyone else have a report which they wish to give? Nope. Okay, so we need a motion to accept these verbal reports. Moved by Andrew, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we do have some bylaws to be read a first, second, third, and final time. We have bylaw 76, 2020, which is a bylaw to provide for interim tax levies for the year of 2021. Bylaw 77, 2020, authorizing the borrowing of money to meet 2021 current expenditures. Bylaw number 78, 2020, a bylaw to authorize the signing of a lease agreement with Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Ontario as represented by the Government Ministry of Government and Consumer Affairs. That would be for the parkland. And bylaw 79, 2020 being a bylaw to appoint the members of council as a committee of adjustment for the year 2021. So if we can have a mover and a seconder, please, for those bylaws. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. We do have need for a closed session, so with your permission, we'll move that down in our agenda. In the meantime, do we have any notice of motions? Any new business? Andrew?
I think it's a necessity at this point to ask for an update on the Highway 7 and 8 corridor project for what that's worth. In the past, we've got a non-response. I'd like it to come from the municipality instead of me looking at it. Not that it has in the past, but I'd like to get an update on where that's going. I believe the project is still active. So I'd like to proceed to communicate with the new study team and get a current status. I know that their website is active still, Highway 78 corridor. It's a little more official response as to, the preferred route and all that stuff. If that's all still in place. I haven't seen any changes. I look at it periodically, but I'd like to see a council connection with that group just to let them know we're still watching.
Okay, so you want staff to write them a letter, or do you want just the last information that staff has?
When was that? I can't recall when that last report was. I know we had tried a couple times and really had a non-response, but maybe incorrect on that.
Well, how about we have staff bring a report back and they can put it in the last communication they've had, and they could perhaps maybe look into it with the MTO as well. How would that be?
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, do we need a motion, ladies, or just direction? Oh, Ashley's writing a motion here. Okay, so could someone, Andrew, do you want to move that? Okay, do we have a seconder? Daryl? Okay, so as long as I think I've got you would like a report to come back where the 7 and 8 highway corridor is at, and staff is to check with the MTO as well.
Yes, an update, please.
Yeah, an update, okay? All right, okay. Any more questions on that? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Hugh, I believe you had your hand up too.
Yeah, I'd like to send a letter of support to the government on their changes about the Conservation Authority. And I have a motion for that. And it's that the Council of Perth East support the Government of Ontario in its quest to modernize and update the Conservation Act. We feel that this will benefit our municipality to better utilize the services and programs supplied by the conservation areas. And that would be to other municipalities and AMO and the relevant ministers.
Okay, so that's moved by Hugh. Do we have a seconder for that? Daryl? Is there any questions on what Hugh would like? See no questions. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Anyone else have any new business? No. Okay. Any announcements? No. Okay. Well, I think that's the fastest meeting we've ever had. Half an hour. We do have need for a closed session, but I want to thank everyone for coming. I know you've all got a little envelope in your mailbox this week, and we hope to see everybody next Wednesday between 4 and 5 and see what kind of surprise Teresa and I have for you. So thanks again. It's good to see everybody. And council members, if you could log off and log into your closed session, that'd be great. And everyone else, I think Bill is too, correct? Yep.